Welcome. Let me ask you something. How many times have you told yourself, this time, things will be different. This time I'll get up early. This time I won't waste any time. This time, I'm going to become the person I've always wanted to be. And yet, the months keep rolling by. You're still the same person. Same laziness, same fears, same excuses. Don't try to kid me, and don't kid yourself. Because you know deep down that I'm telling the truth. You might say you want change, but if I took a look at your daily grind, your habits, the way you think about things, I'd have to tell you, no, you really don't. You just like the idea of change. You want the end result, but you don't want to put in the work. And that right, there is the very reason your life just keeps spinning around in the same old circles year after year. Listen up. If you don't make some changes in your thinking, your surroundings, the things you actually do, you're going to wake up 10 years from now in that same bed, going to that same job, feeling that same pain, except you'll be older, more exhausted, and kicking yourself with regret. And nobody's coming to rescue you. Not your folks, not your buddies, not even God. It's all on you now. You think this video is just another feel-good thing? Nope. This video is a major wake-up call, a slap in the face from your future self that's telling you, change things now, or you're going to be crying about it later. And if you truly want to improve as a person, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and yeah, even your English skills, then don't just watch a minute or two. Watch it all the way through, because over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why you haven't been able to change and how you can finally do it. And I swear, this is going to be the video that your future self will either be thanking you for or hating you for not watching. It's your choice. This will also help you get better at listening and understanding English. So let's jump right in. Stage 1. You're addicted to comfort. Let's kick things off with a harsh truth. You're not lazy. You're hooked on comfort. Yep, I said it. You're not weak. You're not dumb. You're not incapable. You're just comfortable. And that's the most dangerous place to be. Think about it. You know getting up early would be good for you, but your bed is nice and cozy. You know that learning English would be a life changer, but scrolling through Instagram just feels easier. You know that building self-discipline would make you a force to be reckoned with, but Netflix feels better than pushing yourself. Comfort is your drug of choice. It feels good in the moment, but it's slowly killing you. It's like how sugar tastes great, but it's terrible for your body in the long run. Comfort feels safe and secure, but it's stealing your potential one lazy morning at a time. There was this kid who dreamed of becoming a fantastic public speaker. Every day, he told himself, I'll practice tomorrow. He'd hop on YouTube, watch motivational speeches, and even grab a microphone. But when it came time to actually speak out loud, he'd skip it. He'd feel tired, or shy, or just plain uncomfortable. Months went by, and nothing changed. Then one day, the perfect opportunity landed right in his lap. A school competition, a big crowd, his big chance. But guess what happened? He couldn't do it. His throat tightened up, his hand was shaking like crazy. He just stood there, silent, embarrassed, and feeling completely defeated. Why? Because comfort had become his prison. And that's you too. If you don't face those uncomfortable moments now, you're going to be filled with regret later on. You want to turn your life around? Here's the key. Do something that makes you uncomfortable every single day. Get up an hour earlier. Say 5 English sentences out loud. Take a cold shower. Say no to things that are just a waste of your time. Small pain equals big power. The fire is gone, and so is your motivation. Welcome to the real world. Here's a harsh reality. Motivation is just a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. One day you feel like you can conquer the world. The next day, you feel empty. One day you're full of inspiration. The next day, you just want to be lazy. So if your whole life depends on motivation, your life's going to be a roller coaster. You'll be up for a day and crashing for 10. Think about it this way. You're a soldier in a war. Your enemies are fear, laziness, and procrastination. And you say, I'm only going to fight when I feel strong. Seriously? You'll be dead in the water because the enemy isn't going to wait for you to feel ready. They're going to attack every single day. And if you don't have a system in place, you're going to lose. Let me give you an example from real life. There was a guy who wanted to be a writer. Every day, he waited for the perfect moment when he felt inspired. Some days he'd write 5 pages, but most days he wrote absolutely nothing. Years passed. No book, no progress, just a whole lot of guilt. Then one day he made a rule. He said, I'm going to write one page every single day, no matter what. Even if I'm sick, even if I'm tired. He stopped relying on how he felt and started following his system. 6 months later, his first book was finished. Motivation didn't change his life. His system did. You need a system, not just a spark. Let me talk to you like a big brother. If you only do things when you feel like it, you're never going to win. Because your feelings are weak. They're fragile. They change with the weather, your mood, how hungry you are, and how much sleep you've gotten. But a system, that's your army. Here are some examples of systems. Say 10 English sentences out loud every morning after you brush your teeth. Write down 3 new vocabulary words in your diary before you eat dinner. Go for a 20-minute walk every evening. No excuses. Make it so simple that your brain can't even argue. Don't trust your mind. Trap it inside a routine. Force it to obey. Because you know what? Success is boring. It's not exciting. It's not loud. It's not motivational. It's just small steps, repeated daily, with zero emotion. You want a new life? Build a system and follow it like your life depends on it, because it does. Stage 4. You're still thinking like the old you. This isn't just a problem. It's an invisible prison. You want a new life, but you're still thinking like the old version of yourself. Let me show you what I mean. You say, I want to be confident. But in your mind, you're still saying, I'm shy. I'm not good enough. You say, I want to be successful. But in your mind, you're still whispering, I'm not that smart. You say, I want to speak English fluently. But deep down, you're thinking, people will laugh at me. This is what's called an identity conflict. You're trying to build a palace on top of the ruins of your old, broken house. It's not going to work. Let me shout this truth at you. You cannot become a new person while thinking like the old one. You can't win when the voice of your past is still living in your head. There was this woman who wanted to lose weight. She exercised, ate healthy, and followed her routine. But in her head, she still called herself fat. Every time she looked in the mirror, she saw failure. Every time someone complimented her, she said, no, I still look bad. And guess what happened? Eventually, she gave up. Why? Because her mind was fighting against her actions. She didn't need a new body. She needed a new belief system. And you don't need new books, new clothes, or new videos. You need to silence that voice in your mind that says, I can't. I'm not good enough. I've always been this way. That voice isn't your friend. That voice is a liar. And if you don't silence it, it'll kill your dreams. So how do you destroy that old version of yourself? Write down a new identity. Say, I am confident. I am consistent. I am transforming. Even if it feels fake, say it out loud daily, morning and night. Act like your future self. Before every action, ask yourself, what would the new me do? Then do that, not what the old you wants. Surround yourself with reminders. Put up quotes, goals, and photos on your wall. Your room should look like your future, not your past. This isn't a joke. This is your life. If your identity stays small, your actions will shrink and your dreams will suffocate. So I'm going to say it one last time, with love, but also with passion. Kill the old you, or the old you will kill everything you're trying to become. Stage 5. You're waiting for the perfect time. Let me ask you something. How long have you been waiting? How many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow, after this week is over, after my exams, when I feel ready, next month, next year, next Monday? Let me tell you something that nobody else will dare say to you. That perfect time you're waiting for. It doesn't exist. It's a fantasy, a trap, a lie. You keep waiting for life to calm down, for your problems to disappear, for motivation to magically appear. But listen to me closely. Life isn't going to slow down for you. Your excuses aren't going to disappear on their own. And one day, you're going to run out of tomorrows. Truth bomb. If you wait for perfect conditions, you're going to waste your entire life in the waiting room, watching other people live, grow, succeed, and become something. While you're rotting away in delay, you're thinking, I'll start when I'm not so stressed. Let me tell you, you're always going to be stressed. You say, I'll begin when I'm confident. I say you'll never be confident until you start, fall, and rise again. You say, I'll learn English when I have the time. Here's the truth. You won't find the time. You have to make the time, or you'll lose it forever. There was this guy who had a dream of starting his own business. Every day, he thought about it, talked about it, watched videos, and took notes. But he kept saying, not now. Let me save up a little more money. Let me just fix this one little problem. Let me just wait for the right moment. Guess what happened? 5 years went by, and nothing changed. Then one day, he opened Instagram and saw his friend running the same kind of business, living his dream. The pain was unbearable because he knew he could have done it too. But he waited and waited until his dream died in his hands without even being born. Let me talk to you now like a big brother who refuses to lie to you. There's no perfect day. There's only today. And if you don't start now, you'll never start. Start messy. Start scared. Start unprepared. But start. Here's what you can do today. Speak one full paragraph out loud in English. It doesn't matter if it's broken. Write down 3 goals on your wall in big, bold letters. Say, from now on, I don't wait. I act. I move. I rise. Your future doesn't begin someday. It begins right now, or it never begins at all. Stage 6. You fear judgment from others. You know what's stopping you? It's not laziness. It's not time. And it's not even the fear of failure. It's the fear of what other people will say. What if they laugh at me? What if they think I'm not good enough? What if I speak English wrong and they make fun of me? What if I post something and get judged? Let me tell you something that will burn its way into your mind. The fear of being judged is more dangerous than actually being judged. Let me repeat that. The fear of other people's opinions is killing more dreams than failure ever could. You're not living your truth. You're putting on a performance for people who don't even care about you. Imagine this. You're in a cage, and the door is wide open. You can walk out anytime you want, but you don't. Why? Because outside the cage, some people are pointing at you, whispering, judging, and smiling, and you're so scared of those whispers that you stay in the cage. That's your life right now. Your cage isn't locked. You're just too scared of what people might say when you walk out. Let me shout this into your soul. They're going to judge you anyway, whether you succeed or fail, whether you act or hide, whether you're rich or poor, loud or quiet, broken or healed. They're going to judge you. So here's a question. If they're going to judge you anyway, why not live your truth? Why not speak up? Why not chase your goals? Why not change your life? How do you destroy the fear of judgment? Understand this simple truth. People are too busy with their own lives. They forget your mistakes. Only you hold on to them. So do it anyway, right in front of them. Speak English with confidence. Even if you make 10 mistakes, you're learning. They're just watching. Ask yourself this. In 10 years, am I going to care what that person thought? If the answer is no, then stop caring right now. Here's my promise to you. If you live for the approval of others, you're going to die with regret. But if you live for your own truth, nobody can touch you. You don't need to impress anyone. You need to express your mission. And if someone laughs, let them laugh. Because while they're busy watching, you'll be busy building. Stage 7. You try to change everything at once. Let me ask you something. When you decide to turn your life around, what's the first thing you do? You say, starting tomorrow, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. I'm going to exercise, meditate, read, study English, write in a journal, eat healthy, and go to bed on time. You want to change your entire life in just one day, and within a week, you crash and burn. You fail. You go back to your old self, and you're even worse off than before. Now listen to me very, very carefully. This is the number one reason why most people never change. They try to do 100 things at the same time and end up doing absolutely nothing. You're not a robot. You're not a superhero. You're a human being, and you can't carry 20 bricks on your back and expect to run. Change isn't a war of explosions. Change is a slow burn. Quiet, steady, one small flame at a time. Let me explain why this happens. Here's the cold, hard truth. Your brain doesn't like change. Your brain likes safety, routine, and easy habits. When you try to change too many things all of a sudden, your brain sees it as a threat. It panics. It fights back. That's why after 2 days of eating clean, waking up early, and practicing English, you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, and angry, and you just quit. It's not because you're weak. It's because you attacked your old life too fast, and it defended itself. There's this guy who works 10 hours a day. He decides he wants to transform himself. He makes a list. Wake up at 4:30 a.m., gym for 1 hour, English for 1 hour, read 1 book per week, cut out sugar, sleep 8 hours, journal, meditate, cold shower. He follows it for 2 days. Then his body gives out. His mind rebels. He feels lost and angry. He quits. And guess what he says? Self-improvement doesn't work. I'll never change. I'm just not that type of person. No, my friend. The truth is, you try to build a castle overnight on unstable ground. And now you're blaming the castle. So what's the solution? Focus on one change at a time. One powerful habit, one life-shifting system, one internal upgrade. Let it become a part of you. Then add the next one. Want to improve your English? Start with 10 minutes of daily speaking practice, nothing more. Want to fix your sleep schedule? First, fix your wake-up time, not the whole routine. Want to become more confident? Practice making eye contact for 1 week, nothing else. Master one weapon before you pick up another. Let me say it louder, so it sinks into your soul. You don't become unstoppable by doing everything. You become unstoppable by doing one thing over and over again until it becomes your strength. Consistency beats chaos. One blade sharpened daily is deadlier than 10 dull swords. Here's what I want you to do right now. Take a piece of paper. Write down 3 things you want to change. Circle only one. Forget the others for now. Do that one thing every single day for 30 days. No breaks, no drama, no excuses. Do this, and your life will start changing in ways you never imagined. Stage 8. You keep breaking promises to yourself. This one hurts the most because it's silent. Nobody sees it. Nobody hears it. But it slowly kills your confidence, your self-worth, and your belief in yourself. Let me explain. Every time you say, I'm going to wake up early, and you don't. Every time you say, I'm not going to scroll through Instagram tonight, and you still do. Every time you say, I'm going to study English today, and you skip it. You're breaking a promise, not to your teacher, not to your parents, but to yourself. And every broken promise is a message to your brain. I can't trust myself. I'm weak. I don't mean what I say. You become someone who speaks, but doesn't believe his own words. You lose respect for yourself. And once you lose self-respect, you lose the power to grow. This isn't a small problem. This is the root of your failure. People think, oh, it's just one skipped workout. It's just one missed study session. No, it's not just one. It's a message to your subconscious. Every time you fail yourself, your belief in your own power dies a little. There's this young guy who wants to build confidence. He says, I'm going to speak in English for 10 minutes every day. Day 1, he does it. Day 2, he forgets. Day 3, he makes excuses. Day 4, he skips again. After a week, he says, I'm just not consistent. I'm not like those disciplined people. I'm lazy. No, my friend. He's not lazy. He's just broken the habit of trusting himself. And that's why he feels hopeless. So how do we fix this? How do we rebuild that trust? By keeping the smallest possible promise and never breaking it. Start ridiculously small. 5 push-ups a day. 2 minutes of English speaking. 1 page of reading. It doesn't matter how small. What matters is that you do it every single day. And when you do that for 7 days, 10 days, 30 days, you become someone your mind can trust again. Let me say this like a big brother who won't lie to you. You can wear nice clothes. You can post positive quotes. You can act confident in public. But if you keep breaking promises to yourself, you're always going to feel empty inside because no success, no money, no followers can fix that feeling of I don't respect myself anymore. So today, here's your mission. Choose one small promise. Make it easy, and then swear to yourself that you will not break it. Write it on your wall. Make it your phone wallpaper. Say it out loud before bed. Because every day you keep it, you're no longer weak. You're rising. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about proving to yourself that your word means something. Start now, and never lie to yourself again. Stage 9. You don't track your progress, so you forget your power. Let's talk about a silent killer. Something that destroys your motivation quietly, slowly, from the inside. You don't track your progress. You don't write it down. You don't measure what you're doing. And because of that, you feel like nothing is changing even when it is. And that feeling, it eats away at your hope like acid. Let me break it down. You start a new habit. You begin practicing English. You try waking up early. You start eating healthy, reading books, going for walks, or doing meditation. But after a few days, you stop. Not because it wasn't working, but because you couldn't see it working. Why? Because you didn't track it. You didn't measure it. You didn't write it down. And when you don't track your growth, your brain assumes, I'm not growing. Your mind needs evidence. It needs to see progress, even if it's small. If you don't give your brain proof, it's going to say, you're still the same. You're wasting your time. You're not improving. And that lie will kill your momentum. There's this student who decides to practice English daily. Every morning she speaks for 10 minutes, but after a week, she feels like she's still not fluent. So she quits. What she didn't realize was this. On day 1, she could only say 2 lines. On day 3, she spoke 5 full sentences. On day 7, her grammar had improved, but she didn't track it, so her brain didn't believe it. Now imagine if she had written down her progress every day. Day 1, spoke 2 lines. Day 3, 5 lines with confidence. Day 5, used 3 new words. Day 7, spoke without fear. She would see the growth. She would feel powerful. She would continue. She would win. But because she didn't track it, she gave up on a miracle that was already happening. Let me tell you why this is so dangerous. You could be becoming the person of your dreams, but because you're not recording your progress, your brain convinces you that nothing is happening. And that lie becomes your truth. And that truth becomes your failure. So what do? You make tracking your progress just as important as doing the action itself. You keep a simple log, not for social media, not to show the world, but to show yourself. Today I practiced English for 5 minutes. Today I said no to junk food. Today I didn't scroll on my phone after 10 p.m. Today I wrote 1 page of my goals. Every line you write is a brick in the wall of your new life. Let me say this like your big brother, and I want you to burn this into your brain. If you don't track it, you'll trash it. If you don't measure it, you won't manage it. And if you don't honor your effort, your mind will forget your power. So, starting today, I don't care if it's messy. I don't care if your handwriting is ugly. I don't care if it's just 1 line. Track your fight. Track your fire. Track your climb. Because when you look back in 30 days, 60 days, or 6 months, you'll realize, damn, I'm not who I was. I'm rising. I'm changing. I'm becoming. And that will give you the courage to keep going when everything else fails. Stage 10. You don't believe you deserve a better life. This is it. The deepest wound, the biggest enemy. The reason why you stay stuck even when you try to grow. The reason you stop just before something good happens. That's the reason you self-sabotage your own success. You just don't think you deserve it. You lack the belief that you're worthy of happiness, peace, good health, success, love, or even greatness. And because you hold this belief that you don't deserve these things, you never truly pursue them with everything you've got. You might walk in their general direction, but you never fully commit to grabbing hold of them. You don't fight for them like a warrior would. Instead, you tiptoe around like a thief, constantly afraid of getting caught. Let's dig a little deeper into this. Ask yourself this question. When was the last time you genuinely felt proud of yourself? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and confidently declared, I am worthy. I deserve a powerful and fulfilling life. I deserve to speak English with confidence and ease. I deserve to be treated with respect. I deserve success, peace, and freedom. For most people, answering this question is difficult. And why is that? It's because the world around you, your family, your school, and a society as a whole, has spent years programming you to feel insignificant. They've told you that you're just average, that you're nothing special, and that you shouldn't dream too big. They've urged you to play it safe and insinuated that people like you can achieve great things. And over time, you started to believe them. Their voices became your inner voice, and their fears became your reality. So now, even when opportunities present themselves, you tend to hide and shy away from them. You're not inherently lazy, and you're certainly not weak. You're simply suffering from the effects of the poisonous lie that whispers, you are not enough. Think of a man who grew up in a poor neighborhood. His father constantly told him, people like us don't get rich, We just survive. We're not as smart as those other folks. You should be grateful that you even have a job. Don't aim too high. It's not for us. Even when this man eventually landed a good job, acquired new skills, and earned the respect of others, he still felt like a fraud. He couldn't fully enjoy his success because, deep down, he believed, I don't deserve this. I'm just lucky, and it's all going to be taken away from me. And eventually, that's exactly what happened. One day, he quit his job and gave it all up because his mind couldn't reconcile with this newfound life of success and opportunity. So, how do we go about fixing this deeply ingrained issue? How do we break free from this self-sabotaging curse? The answer lies in brutal honesty with yourself, daily repetition of positive affirmations, and an unbreakable belief in your own potential. Every morning and every night, you must declare, even if you don't fully believe it yet, I deserve a better life. I deserve to rise above my current circumstances. I deserve to speak with confidence and conviction. I deserve to feel free and unburdened. I am enough. Write it down, shout it out loud, and live your life as if it were already true. Because here's the truth of the matter. You don't get the life you merely wish for. You get the life you genuinely believe you deserve. And to settle for anything less than your full potential isn't just sad, it's a crime against your very soul. So, I implore you, don't wait for the world to tell you that you're enough. Instead, declare to the world that you always have been. Tell them, I just forgot for a while, but now I remember. And from this day forward, fight for your dreams with the unwavering conviction of someone who knows, without a doubt, that this life is yours and that you will rise to meet its challenges, no matter what obstacles may come your way. Stage 11. You stop learning after school. Let me be frank here. Most people begin to mentally, emotionally, and spiritually stagnate the day they graduate from school. It's not a physical death, but in many ways, it's the end of their growth. They close their books, stop reading, stop asking questions, and cease exploring new ideas and experiences. And then they sit around wondering, why does my life feel the same year after year? Why do I feel stuck in a rut? Why don't I feel truly alive? Well, here's the cold, hard truth. If you stop learning, you stop growing. And if you stop growing, you essentially start dying little by little. Let me explain how this process unfolds. In school, you're taught the fundamentals, math, grammar, history, and so on. But school typically doesn't teach you the skills you really need to thrive in life, such as how to be confident, how to speak persuasively in front of others, how to control your thoughts and emotions, how to overcome your fears, how to build wealth, how to handle failure gracefully, or how to cultivate inner peace. So, if you stop learning and developing yourself at the age of 18 or 21, you're essentially done for. You're trying to navigate complex, adult problems with a brain that's only equipped to handle the challenges of a 10-year-old. And that's why your mind often feels overwhelmed and breaks under the pressure. Most people desire a new and improved life, but they're attempting to build it using outdated tools, beliefs, and knowledge. That's like trying to construct a modern skyscraper using equipment from a century ago. It's simply not going to work, and the whole thing will likely collapse. If you truly want to transform your life, you must transform your approach to learning. Consider the man who works a typical 9-to-5 job in a small, unremarkable office. Day after day, he follows the same monotonous routine. As the years drift by, he finds himself wondering, why don't I feel inspired? Why is my confidence so low? Why am I still stuck in the same dead-end position? The answer is simple. After college, he never pursued any further learning. He never picked up another book, never listened to a thought-provoking podcast, and never watched anything that challenged his existing worldview. As a result, his mind remained stuck in the past while the world continued to evolve around him, leaving him feeling increasingly irrelevant and left behind. But here's the solution. You don't necessarily need to go back to college to turn things around. What you need is a commitment to daily learning, even if it's just for 15 minutes each day. Read a powerful book, watch an educational video, jot down your thoughts in a journal, learn a new English phrase, or simply ask yourself better, more insightful questions. Because with each day that you learn something new, your brain becomes sharper, your confidence grows stronger, and your life expands in exciting new ways. And if you neglect this crucial aspect of personal growth, you risk becoming the same person at 40, 50, or 60, a living statue with a frozen mind, unable to adapt to the ever-changing world. Smart people don't stop learning because they're intelligent. They're intelligent because they never stop learning. So, wake up, pick up that book, and dust off your brain, because your future self is waiting for you, and he's tired of being broke and unfulfilled. Stage 12. You don't have a support system outside of home. Let me be brutally honest with you right now, and I'm about to say something that most people are unwilling to admit. Sometimes, your own family can be the reason you remain stuck in a small and limited life. Yes, the very people who love you can also be the ones who unknowingly hold you back, not because they harbor any ill intentions, but because they simply don't understand your dreams and aspirations. They might tell you to be realistic, play it safe, or don't take unnecessary risks, implying that such pursuits are not meant for people like you. And slowly but surely, your inner fire begins to dwindle and fade away. This is a fundamental truth. Your environment shapes your energy, and your social circle defines the limits of your potential. If you're constantly surrounded by people who complain, gossip, fear growth, criticize your dreams, and laugh at your goals, then no matter how hard you try to break free, you'll inevitably find yourself pulled back into their limiting mindset. Why? Because your mind is like water, and it naturally conforms to the shape of its container. If your container is small and restrictive, your life will inevitably remain small and restricted as well. Imagine a young girl who dreams of becoming a successful YouTuber. Her parents dismiss her aspirations, telling her that it's not a real job, and that people like them don't become famous. Her friends join in, mocking her lack of confidence and questioning her ability to create engaging videos. Discouraged and disheartened, she eventually gives up on her dream, not because she lacks talent or potential, but because no one in her immediate circle believed in her. And the worst part is that she didn't actively seek out people who would. This is your responsibility now. If your home environment doesn't provide the support you need to grow, then you must proactively build a new support system for yourself. Seek out 2 or 3 people who genuinely believe in the power of self-growth and personal development. Join online communities, follow inspiring individuals on social media, and strike up conversations with strangers who are pursuing similar passions. Because here's the truth, you don't need 100 friends to succeed. All you need are 2 or 3 genuine connections who constantly remind you of who you are and what you're capable of achieving. And if you can't find those people right away, then be your own support system until they finally show up. If you remain surrounded by small-minded people, your dreams will gradually shrink until they disappear altogether. But if you cultivate a circle of fire, a community of passionate, driven individuals, you will become unstoppable, even if the whole world doubts you. Stage 13. You keep running away from pain instead of facing it. Let me share something with you that no one else seems to want to say. Pain is not your enemy. In fact, pain is your teacher, your guide, and the very doorway to your ultimate transformation. But the vast majority of people simply don't want to feel it. The moment life throws them a curveball, they instinctively try to escape the discomfort. They run to anything that offers temporary comfort, distract themselves with mindless activities, and desperately avoid facing the harsh truth. And that's why they remain weak and stagnant, because they never allow pain to do its job and help them grow into stronger, more resilient individuals. Let me put it in simple terms. When faced with a difficult situation, you might tell yourself, "This is too hard. I can't handle this feeling. It hurts too much." So what do? You avoid it at all costs. You sleep excessively, keep yourself busy with pointless tasks, and lie to yourself, saying, "I'll think about it later." But by doing this, you're not actually removing the pain. You're simply prolonging and intensifying it. You're giving it power over your life, allowing it to fester and grow into something much larger than it needs to be. Understand this fundamental truth. Pain is not permanent, but if you run from it, it becomes permanent. The only way to truly defeat pain is to go directly through it, to confront it head-on and learn from the experience. Consider the man who lost his job and felt utterly useless, ashamed, and scared. But instead of facing these emotions, he hid his situation from everyone he knew. He didn't tell his friends, and he didn't ask for help. He just pretended that everything was fine. He started watching TV all day, indulging in junk food, and telling himself, "I'll figure out tomorrow." But days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. And now, the pain had grown exponentially, not because of the job loss itself, but because he failed to confront it when it first arose. He ran from it, and that's why it ultimately destroyed him. Now, let me speak to you from the heart. If something is causing you pain right now, please don't run from it. Sit with it, feel it, and ask it, "What are you here to teach me?" Because pain comes to wake you up, not to break you down. Here are some common examples of what people often run from. A breakup instead of healing, they jump into another relationship. A mistake, instead of fixing it, they deny it. A fear, instead of facing it, they avoid it for years. A broken dream, instead of building again, they give up. Or a weakness, instead of working on it, they hide it. But pain doesn't simply vanish when you ignore it. It just hides in your mind, subtly controlling your future decisions and actions. So what can you do instead? But you're forgetting something crucial. You're comparing your real, unfiltered life to someone else's carefully curated and edited highlight reel. You're watching their best 15 seconds and comparing it to your entire messy reality. Of course, you're going to feel like a failure. But let me tell you what you don't see. The tears behind that influencer's seemingly perfect smile, the stress behind that luxurious lifestyle, the loneliness behind the fame, the filters behind that flawless body, and the darkness lurking behind that carefully crafted highlight reel. You're essentially watching a movie trailer and mistaking it for real life. And that's a dangerous lie. Imagine a teenager scrolling through his phone late at night, seeing countless images of people buying expensive cars, starting successful companies, and going viral online. He's just trying to study for his exams, but now he feels like he's falling behind in life. So, he gives up trying, not because he's inherently weak, but because he feels like he's already lost the race. That's what comparison does. It doesn't just make you jealous, it makes you feel utterly worthless. So, how do you escape this insidious trap? You do one simple thing. Compare yourself only to your past self. Ask yourself one question, and one question only. Am I better than I was 30 days ago? That's it. That's the only person you're truly in competition with. Start tracking your own journey. How many English words can you confidently use today compared to last month? How many days did you stay disciplined this week? How many books have you finished this year? This is your lane, this is your path, and this is your race. And if you run it with focus and determination, you will undoubtedly win it. Social media might show you their smiles, but your mirror will show you your truth, and your truth is far more powerful than their illusion. Stage 15. Deep inside, you don't think change is possible for you. This is perhaps the most dangerous lie of all, and it doesn't come from the outside world. It originates from within you. You try to change, but you fail. You try again, and you fall. After a few months or years of repeated setbacks, a voice inside you begins to whisper, maybe this is just who I am. Maybe people like me don't really change. Maybe growth is not meant for me. It's only for others. And that thought is the beginning of your slow decline. Let me shout this now, louder than ever before. That voice is lying to you. That voice is not your friend. It's your prison. You're not broken. You're not a failure. You're not cursed. And you're certainly not just average. You are simply not finished yet. Let me explain this in greater depth. Every single person who has ever successfully transformed their life has gone through periods of intense self-doubt. They've failed, they've cried, they've considered quitting, and they've questioned their own abilities. But they got up one more time, and that made all the difference. The only difference between a champion and a loser is this. The champion may have fallen 99 times, but they stood up on the 100th. Think of a man who was deeply in debt, brokenhearted, and repeatedly rejected. He tried 13 different business ventures, and all of them failed miserably. Everyone laughed at him. His family told him he was wasting his life, and his own mind screamed at him to just give up. But something deep inside him whispered, this pain means I'm still alive, and if I'm still alive, I can still rise. He didn't try to do anything grandiose. He just did one small thing every day. 5 years later, he had built a thriving empire. There was no overnight success, just unwavering belief, patience, pain, and consistent repetition. And that's exactly what will change your life as well. You don't need external validation or proof. You need internal faith and conviction. You must look in the mirror and declare, I don't care how many times I've failed. I'm not done yet. I'm not quitting, and I'm not backing down because this is my life and I will transform it. If you believe that change is impossible, then you're right. It will be. But if you believe that you can change, then you've already begun the process. So, choose your beliefs wisely, because your beliefs shape your behavior, and your behavior ultimately determines your destiny. So now you know the truth, the real reasons why you might be struggling to change, and how you can finally break free from those limitations. But here's what I want you to remember above all else. You are not broken, you are not behind, and it's not too late for you. You are just one decision away from becoming the strongest and most authentic version of yourself. And no matter how dark your past has been, your future is still entirely in your hands. You don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to start. Start small, start scared, start tired, but start anyway. Because every day you delay is another day you remain trapped in a life you don't want. And you simply don't deserve that. You deserve power, you deserve peace, and you deserve purpose. And listen, if nobody else believes in you right now, I do. If nobody else is standing by your side, I am. You're not alone. I am walking this path with you, step by step, struggle by struggle, victory by victory. So, if you felt something resonate deeply within you today, if you're ready to change your life and grow alongside me every day, then hit that subscribe button, because this is not just a channel. It's your support system, your daily dose of motivation, and your big brother's voice in your pocket. And I will be here every single day to remind you of who you truly are. Now go and do that one hard thing that you've been putting off today. Go and keep that promise you made to yourself. Go and become the person you were born to be, because the world needs you, and you deserve to live a life that makes you proud. I'll see you in the next video. I'm with you always. Goodbye.